I noticed the girl on the third day after we moved in. She was standing across the street, maybe 12 years old, long black hair, white dress, bare feet, and she was staring directly at our house. I waved. She didn't wave back. Instead, she walked across the street, up our driveway, and knocked on the front door 3 times. I opened it. She looked up at me. Her face was completely expressionless. Then she asked, "You're new here, right?" I nodded. She smiled, not a happy smile, a careful one, like she was making sure I was the person she expected. Then she said, "Good," and walked away. I thought it was strange, nothing more, until I met the neighbors. The old couple next door told me something. That girl knocked on their door too when they first moved in, 8 years ago. The family across the street, she knocked on their door 5 years ago. The house at the corner, she knocked there too 4 years ago. Every new family, she was the first person to welcome them. Always the same girl, always 12 years old, always wearing a white dress. That bothered me, but what really bothered me was what happened afterward. The old couple moved away 3 weeks later. The family across the street disappeared 6 months after that. The house at the corner had been empty for almost 2 years. I asked why. Nobody wanted to answer. Then, one evening, I saw the girl again. She was standing outside the old couple's abandoned house, staring at their front door. I walked toward her. Where did they go? She didn't look at me. They went inside. I laughed nervously. Inside where? She finally turned and whispered, "You know." That night, I couldn't sleep. At exactly 2:13 a.m., someone knocked on my bedroom window 3 times. I froze. Our bedroom was on the 2nd floor. There was no balcony, no tree, nothing outside the window. I slowly pulled the curtain back. The girl was standing outside on the roof, barefoot, looking through the glass. I screamed. My husband woke up, but when he looked, she was gone. The next morning, I asked him if he'd heard anything. He said no. Then he asked me something strange. "Did you dream about a little girl?" I stared at him. "Why?" He hesitated, then said, "Because I dreamed she knocked on our door." I didn't tell him about the window. I didn't want to make him afraid. But that afternoon, I found something underneath our front door. A photograph. It was a picture of our house, taken across the street. My husband and I were standing in the living room. Taken yesterday. There was something written on the back. 1 week. I called the police. They searched the neighborhood. Nobody saw anyone. Nobody knew the girl. Then the officer asked me something that made my stomach drop. "Did she tell you her name?" "No." "Did she ask you to invite her inside?" "No." He looked relieved. Then he said, "Whatever you do, don't invite her in." I asked why. He wouldn't answer. That night, I heard knocking again, 3 times. But this time, it wasn't at the front door. it was coming from inside the house. My husband and I stood in the hallway. The sound came from the basement. We didn't have a basement. At least, I didn't think we did. My husband opened the basement door. There was a staircase underneath it, a staircase that had never been there before. At the bottom was a small white door, and from behind it came a child's voice. "You're new here, right?" My husband grabbed my hand. We ran upstairs. We locked every door. We stayed awake until sunrise. The next morning, the girl was standing across the street again, except this time, she wasn't looking at our house. She was looking at me, and she was smiling. I finally understood. She wasn't welcoming new neighbors. She was checking them, finding out who had arrived, who lived there, who was inside, and who was missing. I packed our bags that afternoon. We left without saying goodbye. We drove for almost an hour before my husband finally spoke. "Did you see that?" I looked behind us. The girl was standing at the end of our street, watching our car disappear. I thought we'd escaped until we reached our new apartment. We carried our bags upstairs. My husband unlocked the door. I stepped inside and immediately stopped. There was a small white dress hanging on the bedroom door. My husband stared at it. Neither of us had bought it. Then came 3 soft knocks. From the other side of the front door, we didn't move. A child's voice whispered through the wood, "You're new here, right?" I looked at my husband. He looked at me. Then the voice continued, "Good." And suddenly, someone knocked from behind us 3 times. We slowly turned toward the hallway. The bedroom door was open. The little girl was standing inside, still 12 years old, still barefoot, still wearing the white dress. She smiled. Then she pointed at the front door and whispered, "They're already here." We never opened that door. We never found out who was outside. But the next morning, our new neighbors moved in across the hall, and when I looked through the peephole, I saw the girl standing beside them, knocking on their door 3 times. Then she turned and looked directly at me through the peephole, as if she knew I was watching, and smiled.